Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today we're going to be talking about the Denver Nuggets potentially trading for Kelly Olynyk. I think, you know, with the trade rumors that, the Nuggets are looking to make moves, the Nuggets are very eager to make moves at the deadline. Also knowing that the Toronto Raptors are going to be sellers, this is my favorite fit for Kelly Olynyk, and one of the trades I want to see the Nuggets make the most. Out of all the trades that there can potentially be made for this Denver Nuggets team. One thing I've always wanted for Kelly Olynyk, I love watching Kelly Olynyk. I'm a Rockets fan. Kelly Olynyk got traded to Houston in the 2020-21 season, and it was the Victor Oladipo trade. And he came to Houston and was playing some great basketball, some of the best basketball of his career. Played the final 27 games with the Rockets in the 2020-21 season, averaged nearly 20 points per game, nearly 10 rebounds per game. And he's always had talent. He's always been a big man who has talent shooting the three-point ball. He's shot 37% in his career, even though he is a 6'11 center. And he's always been a good rebounder. He's really been a great player. But over these last couple seasons, the one thing I've hated the most about Kelly Olynyk, it's actually not his fault, but the fact that he has been playing with some of the worst teams in the league. I want to see this guy back on a contender. He played for Boston. He played with Boston for a couple years, throughout their, nice playoff runs. And then he was with Miami for 3 seasons or he played 4 seasons, but 3 full seasons with Miami, where Miami was a playoff team. And so, really want to see Kelly Olynyk back on a playoff team. I hate to say this, but my Rockets sucked in the 2020-21 season. Then he signed with Detroit. They weren't as bad as they were the following years, but Detroit was bad in the 2021-22 season. 2022-23, he was with Utah. That Utah team started great off to the year, but they finished as the 11th or 12th seed, so he wasn't in the play-in or the playoffs. Then he continued to be in Utah, then went to Toronto. Toronto was garbage. He's with Toronto now. I really want to see Kelly Olynyk back on a championship contender would be nice, but at least a playoff team. This guy's been on a bottom team, whether it's in the West or the East, the last 3 seasons, last 3-4 seasons. I think it's the last 4 seasons, or maybe last 5 seasons now. So love to see Kelly Olynyk back on a playoff or championship contender type team, at least playoff contender, because he hasn't even been on a team in the last 5 seasons that is top 10 in the conference. And I think the Denver Nuggets is one of the best fits you're going to find for Kelly Olynyk. And not only that, but the Nuggets, they need a guy like Kelly Olynyk. And here's why. You need a backup center. Look, Jokic is terrific. He's been I think, the best player in basketball this year. I mean, the things I've seen this man do this year is unreal. But here's let's get real. His usage right now is very high. And you don't want to see that to remain throughout the rest of the season, because you want him to get rested in the when you're preparing for the play-in, which is right now. That's crazy to say, but that could be a possibility for the Nuggets this year. They're the 7th seed right now. They could be in the play-in this year, or the playoff, or you just go straight into the playoffs if they're a top 6 seed. So for Denver, if you want to start giving Jokic some time off, maybe that doesn't mean actual games off, but cutting his minutes down. You need to add in a good backup center next to Jokic, not just for the remainder of the regular season, but also for when you get to the playoffs. They need a better bench, and they don't have a good backup right now. They have Darius Saric, who's a good 3-point shooter, but he's not having a great year this year, and he's not also. To be honest, Darius Saric is not a center. Darius Saric can play center, but Darius Saric is more of a power forward. They have DeAndre Jordan, but DeAndre Jordan is old, and I think DeAndre Jordan can do solid things, but I don't think he is a. I think there are multiple teams where he would be, the backup center. Maybe there are some teams where he could be a starting center, and that might be over the top. But DeAndre Jordan is not a backup center on a championship contender team or a team that's trying to just contend in the playoffs. So not only do the Nuggets need a backup center, but they need shooting. They need bench help. They are one of the worst benches in basketball, and they have been a very bad three-point shooting team this year. Losing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope has really hurt them. Because here's a couple things it's done. Because you lost KCP, you lost his defense, and you lost his three-point shooting. But what it also did was you lost Christian Brown to the bench. You lost Christian Brown on the bench. Christian Brown is still on this Nuggets team. He's had a good year. But he's in that starting lineup role now. Last year, the year before that, you had him on the bench. He brought a good spark for this Nuggets bench. You don't have that anymore. Because now, what is Christian Brown doing? He is starting in the starting lineup. He's not coming off the bench anymore. So the Nuggets need better three-point shooting. They need a big man. They need just an improved bench. That's why I think Kelly Olynyk is a perfect addition for them. And you really, at times, you could put Olynyk and Jokic, at the floor at the same time. You could put Olynyk at the 4 and have Jokic at the 5. With how good of a facilitator Nikola Jokic is, having another three-point shooter on the floor that, is a great shooter. Could you imagine Jokic being on the floor and he has Olynyk and Michael Porter Jr. to kick the ball to? So I also think it'd be great for Michael Malone to get Olynyk and Jokic on the floor together. But Olynyk is a great three-point shooter, like I've mentioned. In only 2 games this year, he's shooting 75% from 3, taking 2 3-pointers a game. His first game of the season, he shot 3 for 3 from 3. Last year, he shot 39% from 3. The year before that, in 2022-23 season with Utah, he shot 39% from 3. Look, this year he's averaged 10 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 1 assist per game, 2 steals per game, almost 1 block per game. Last year, he averaged 10 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, almost 5 assists per game. 5 assists per game is great for a big man who's not Nikola Jokic. 1 steal per game last year as well. 2022-23 season averaged 13 points per game with Utah. Also averaged 6 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game. So I think he'd be a great addition, really help out this bench, the three-point shooting. And let's talk about what a potential trade would look like. Olynyk does have a little bit of an expensive contract, so I have 2 players headed to Toronto in this trade. They would send Dario Saric over to Toronto. Dario Saric has played 10 games with 3 starts this year for Denver, averaging 13 minutes per game with 3.5 points per game and 3.5 rebounds per game. This year, Saric has had one of his worst three-point shooting years of his career. He's shooting 26%, which is a career low for Dario. He is a career 36% shooter, and he's shooting 26 this year. Year before in Golden State, he shot 38%. The year before that, he shot 39%. So it's been a really bad shooting year for Dario. And then I also have the Nuggets sending over Zeke Naji to the Raptors in this deal. Zeke has played 15 games this year of 5 minutes per game, averaging 1.3 points per game. He's also had some good years in Denver, like 2021-22 season, averaged 7 points per game and 4 rebounds per game for Denver in 41 games. 2022-23 season, he had 53 games with 5 starts, averaging 5 points per game and 3 rebounds per game for Denver. And I think this would potentially get the deal done to get Kelly Olynyk in Denver. I'd love to see this trade happen, though. Let me know your thoughts on the potential trade in the comment section, and peace out.